welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Conqueror Gun Carriage. It's the Tier 10 British SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Fisherman's Bay, and this one is under the command of demontaxidriver. And yes, he is a taxi driver. Game on. Well, this Arty is an invention of wargaming because although there was blueprints or plans supposedly to build an Arty based on the, well, I think it was the Centurion hull, that was the FP3805. There wasn't a plan to use the Conqueror as such, and so this design with the 9.2 inch gun is pure invention by wargaming. You can see Demon's actually got his name on the side of the vehicle. Okay, and he's almost loaded. Now this gun is a 9.2 inch howitzer, which equates to 234 millimeters or 233.7. It's got a very, very high arc, which means that when the shell comes down the other end, it's coming down nearly vertical, and that's why the Arty gets the nickname the orbital laser cannon. He just smacked that object right in with a direct hit, so he's going to be hurting right now. The alpha damage is 1200 hit points, and it's got penetration of 59 millimeters, and the fact that the shell is coming down virtually vertically means it's going to hit the top armor, which is weaker than the side and the frontal armor. So there's a good chance you're going to do a lot of damage. You can see the 430 is missing a lot of hit points from that last shot. Now it's the Fisherman's Bay map. You may have seen this in a few of our videos. You probably do remember, but it's a long while ago. I think it was back in 2017 at that, when we actually had one player with a GW Tiger P managed to score 5 kills with one shell on the Fisherman's Bay map, precisely where that Batchat 25T is right now. He fired a round in, there was 5 enemy tanks all grouped together, and he took out all of them with just one shot. That was quite embarrassing, and that Death Star has just suffered an almighty hit, and he's now only got 395 hit points left. He's going to be feeling pretty sorry for himself right now, because he is a one-shot for that AMX 13105 if he can get around that corner, because unfortunately there's a Jaegeru there. But demontaxidriver will probably rectify matters. Oh! And just that moment, the Death Star picks that moment to go around the corner and kill the AMX 13105, which he does, but he misses Demon's shell and then gets killed by the Object 140, and the Jaegeru also got wiped out as well. But we've just lost our Object 140, who got down to the other end and got assaulted, gangbanged by an Object 430 and a Batchat 25 ton. Unfortunately, a lot of our players are sitting around camping instead of actually doing something, and as a consequence, well, we don't seem to be giving support to that Object 140 down the other end. Well, although you might be able to recognise some of the outline of the city as it once was, you probably do remember Fisherman's Bay as it once was. It does look kind of familiar. Of course, it has changed a lot on the HD maps. He's dialing in on the 140, rounds out. Oh! Well, he whacked that one because he's left him on only 14 hit points. He scored 576 hit points with that shot alone. A non-penetrating round. It looks like they've got their act together now on the west side of the map, because the guys are starting to move south. Let's hope that they can take out the enemy down on that southwest corner. There was a Wizzy 111 Model 5A just behind that house, but I think he's going to get a shot there. One of the problems with the Conqueror Gun Carriage is the limited range. It can't fire over the entire battlefield, which means you have to move closer to the enemy. And because it's got a fairly weak superstructure, it is vulnerable to chance shots from the enemy. But it looks like Demon's going to fire into that bunch of heavies. And unfortunately, all he gets is a small amount of damage on the IS-4. The enemies managed to push through the town quite convincingly. Our teammate in the T-92 put a good shot in there, but the enemy is still advancing. And we've now lost our IS-7. So Demon might have to move soon, but for the wrong reasons. He might have to retreat to get away from the enemy. And instead of taking that chance shot on the IS-4, he's following the E-100, who's going after our VK-7201. Well, he just got wiped out, so now he's going back to the IS-4, lining him up, rounds out, and unfortunately the shell goes to the left. T-92 gets a better shot in there. We picked up 526 hit points of stun assist, and another 433. Unfortunately, we don't have a recording of the actual values of the teams at the moment, because all these replays we're doing at the moment we're doing without mods, because obviously we couldn't include the mods because some replays just wouldn't run with them. The enemy is getting really hammered in the town now. Oh, he thought the IS-4 was going to move forward, and he didn't. You only get 24 rounds with the Conqueror Gun Carriage, so you have to make the best use of the ones that you have, and he's now down to 17. Okay, the mouse is still alive. Only just. That IS-4 is still there. Meanwhile, there's a fairly good fight going on down in the southwest corner. The Object 430 is desperately trying to stay alive, but he's being surrounded by tanks. The IS-4 is on his last legs, actually. He's backing up, trying to get away from the mouse. And it's too late. He's gone. So Demon won't have to move now. And that was a pretty fatal one as well for one of the enemy tanks. I think it was the 907, just got taken out by our Object 261. Well, that 430 put up a really good fight. But both players have now been wiped out. They were both killed by the T-92 HMC, so unfortunately he's going to be paying compensation to his teammate in the T-110E4. So we're 3 tanks ahead of the enemy. They've got 2 Arty and they've got that Object 140. So demontaxidriver is going to have to move south if he wants to get shots on the enemy, because, well, he hasn't got the range to fire over the entire battlefield. And I'd take a guess that I think one of the enemy tanks is going to end up in the pocket. Yes, that little corner that Wargaming took out of the game because they thought it was unfair that people could hold up around that little corner going underneath the bridge and forcing the enemy to try and dislodge them. It was actually quite funny because you ended up with some situations where artillery players managed to score top guns by literally drowning half the enemy team, and well, it just ended up with some very amusing scenarios. Not amusing for Sircon, he didn't particularly like it and he complained bitterly, but rounds out in that Object 261 and he's lost virtually all of his hit points there. Will the Gorilla kill him, or will he kill the Gorilla? Remember, Gorilla's got no armour. If the Object 261 gets a round on him, he'll probably expire. We're just waiting for the reload to complete. You can see he's set up and ready. Oh, that was a shot probably from the Object 261 on our own team. Rounds out. Actually, it wasn't a 261 on our team. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It was the T92. And there's the other one. It's another Conqueror Gun Carriage. Oh, this would be nice. If he could get a shot in which would hit both of them, he could get a bombardier from the pocket. The Object 140 was taken out, and now we've got a group of tanks hovering around the corner, the pocket. That's the T92. Demon's about to let loose. Rounds out. Long flight time for the shell. Oh, he did! He got a bombardier! What a shot to win the game. Bombardiered the enemy. 2 Artys, 1 shot. What a great shot that was. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. What a brilliant end to that game that was. It was a third-class tanker game for demontaxidriver in the Conqueror Gun Carriage. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 9 in this one. He got a bombardier. He took out 2 enemy tanks with 1 shot. He took out the Object 261 and the Conqueror Gun Carriage at the same time. And because they were the only 2 Arty on the enemy team in that game, he also got a counter battery fire medal as well on top of all that. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he stood. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the FV215B 183, the Death Star. 3,976 hit points of damage went to him. 3,453 went to the T92 HMC. He was having a good game. And then the third highest damage was the Patton on the enemy team with 3,203. I'm afraid demontaxidriver, he was trying to keep up with them, but he got only 2,512 hit points. But when it came to kills, he's in a much better position because the Death Star managed to get 5, he managed to get 3, and the Mouse and the Conqueror Gun Carriage on the enemy team both got 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, he's second place, he's 4th place this time, because the Death Star managed 1,054, the Mouse 957, the T92 840, and he picked up 835, so he wasn't far behind the T92. He fired 12 rounds in that game, got 2 direct hits, 2 penetrations and 10 splash. Damage of 2,512 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 6 in the enemy, kill 3, did 433 hit points of damage assistance, plus 921 hit points of stun assist off 9 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 46,716 credits, and after ammunition resupply, took away a profit of 17,316 credits. He received 1,253 XP, and there was no multiplier, so that's all the experience points he took away. But what a last shot of the game, that one. Just lobbing it in, kind of Hail Mary right at the end of the game to make sure that it was a victory. And if he hadn't have got that shot in, I think somebody would have had to have driven off to the cap to start the cap rolling on those guys. Because they just didn't want to go under the bridge and face the possibility of being shotgunned by 2 Artys with, well, pretty accurate and devastating guns. So, excellent end for demontaxidriver. 2 kills in 1 shot. That's very, very good. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.